Okay, Nikon recently released a couple videos. I'll give you the links to them below. They're both in Japanese, and they include a couple of nerdy lens designers. Oh, by the way, Nikon's filed for a patent for a new lens. Oh my god! You're gonna love this one. It's a 10mm to 600mm. Let me repeat that. 10mm to 600mm. It appears to have 19 elements in it. 19. Let's see. 10 millimeters to 600 millimeters. Yeah. I'm sure there won't be any renditional issues on that lens, and it'll be cheap too. Okay, it's gonna go from fisheye to 600 millimeters, so I can capture all of this, or I can capture that. There's gonna be some idiot out there going, "Geez, honey, I can sell all my lenses now and just buy this one." Some people out there, it's not your fault. You've never tried a real low element prime lens. I love to see people's eyes. It's like when I show people the Faro cell. People see a Faro cell for the first time. It's like they've been jaded their whole life. It's like they've seen the face of creation or something. It's like, oh. You show somebody what a real prime lens will do with a low element count. Nikon and Canon, the rest of these guys, I'm going to talk about this in the next video, they're really screwing up. You know, they're trying to eliminate all chromatic aberration, but what they've done is the flip side to that is they've introduced so much glass into the lens that everything is perfectly sharp, but there's blue spectrum absorption, and there's just renditional flat. I mean, these pictures they're flat. They're flat. I mean, these old 4 and 5 element prime lenses, while they do have chromatic aberration, getting rid of that in Photoshop is nothing. Nothing. You know what I can't bring out in Photoshop? I can't bring out that 3D depth in a photograph. Okay? Versus a 4 element, you know, for example, or a likewise focal length that has 3 times as many elements in it. You can't bring that out in Photoshop. You just can't. Anyway, in one of the 2 videos, there's one guy, I wish I could find his email, it's Koichi Yoshida. He has a lot of patents, and he works for Nikon. There he is. And very obviously intelligent, but obviously no wisdom. You know? There's a big difference between having a strong intellect and having wisdom. And he goes to say, users do not purchase lenses based on design values. They purchase them based on how well they render images. He says that at 1 minute and 39 seconds into the video. That's kind of funny, you know. Nikon actually, back in the 80s when they introduced the first D-series lenses that had a really nasty, chintzy plastic barrel, a lot of people switched to Canon. So people do care about that. And Nikon still makes, for example, a very few lenses like they did back in the day. But they're probably not going to exist much longer. Like the 60mm D macro that you have, they're probably not going to make that a lot longer. I'm speculating, but I'm certain I'm correct on this. Now, like the 50mm D, the 50mm manual focus, the f1.2, they still make that the same way they made it 30 years ago, but that lens is damn expensive. Obviously, injection molded plastic is a whole lot cheaper than metal and aluminum, and you know, you're going to CNC machine that stuff out, and it takes time. There are several companies that actually stopped making stuff. With all our current technology, there's only a maximum speed at which stuff can be lathed out. That's the reason 6 Sauer stopped making stainless P220s and P226s. Too expensive. Stainless has a certain milling speed, and you can't exceed that, otherwise you'll actually destroy the block that you're milling. So even with current technology, there's a max speed. That means you only spit out X number of units per day. And the same is true of lenses. I mean, you can injection mold poop out, you know, a crap load of plastic polycarbonate barrels. The glass is the only thing that's really expensive, and of course the labor to put them together correctly. Of course, a lot of the newer lenses, they're really expensive, and of course are still made in Japan, but all the other stuff is outsourced to Thailand and outsourced to China. Even some of their good lenses are outsourced to China. But old Matsushita here, I mean, he's just dead wrong. And he says this in one of, and oddly enough, these videos have English subtitles, but they were just released yesterday by Nikon, and it says Koichi Yoshida. Let me know if you find this guy's email, because I actually can write to him in Japanese, and I'll send him a nice little kind letter telling him why he's so wrong. Some of these brilliant inventors, this guy's designed lenses for Nikon, but he's strictly dealing with the optics. He isn't out there knowing the tactile feel that people want, and they want something that's going to last, they can hand down. If I'm going to buy something for $1,000, I generally want to hand it down to their sons. Now, I've actually had a few comments recently. People say, oh, well, current image sensor technology is going to progress to the point where all these lenses are going to be obsolete in, 5, 10, 20. But they said that same BS back in the 1970s. You had all these 1970s and 60s lenses that I'm recommending to you all that you bought. And you're like, oh my god, I never had a lens this good, man. Thank you so much. This thing is awesome. And pictures pop. And why doesn't Nikon make crap like this anymore? I want to talk about that with you in the next video. And we're going to take a look at a couple lenses. Then we're going to talk about where Nikon... By the way, this is what I call an epic fail from Nikon. Actually making that statement and releasing... By the way, the YouTube video for this, the comments are disabled. Lucky for them. But that's just an epic fail on Nikon's part. They should not allow the guy to say that. He lives in his own little world. He reminds me of some really intelligent people that I know that will stick their finger in a light socket, which is insanely stupid and unwise. They are intelligent, but they have no wisdom, or very little wisdom thereof. It's great the guy's smart and he has several patents, but he's not that wise. So that's an epic fail from Nikon. And there's 2 more epic fails from Nikons that I need to mention, and we'll get back onto regular videos. So thanks for watching that one, and I'll post the link below in the videos to you.